Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. One year, I was at a friend's house for Thanksgiving dinner, and I will call him Mr. Lee for the purpose of this video. Mr. Lee is an excellent cook, and on this Thanksgiving dinner, he literally created a Thanksgiving dinner through stir-frying in a wok. Mr. Lee loves cranberry, and he tried to maintain the traditional flavor of a Thanksgiving meal, so he includes cranberry in all the dishes that he cooks. Since green bean is one of the traditional Thanksgiving ingredients, so Mr. Lee cooked a green beans stir-fry with cranberry. Since I'm a great fan of cranberry, I really like this dish. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I'm going to recreate this particular dish. Okay, let's go into the kitchen and see what we could do. Green bean is one of the most nutritious vegetables. I always have some green bean on hand every week. I usually purchase a 2-pound bag, and I like the French beans a little bit better than the regular green beans. They're a bit smaller, and they cook faster, and they are also more tasty. And when the green bean first came out from the bag, they're a little bit too long than how I would like it. I cut them into actually 2 different sizes. The first size, I just simply cut them in half. That seems to work better in most of the dishes that I am cooking. 2 pounds of green bean work just about right for me in a week. When I store them in the refrigerator in plastic containers, they last up to a week or maybe a little bit longer. The size of the green bean actually play a significant role. In one set of green bean, I cut them in about half as when they first come out from the bag. And another one, I cut them into 1/3 of their original size. Another vegetable that I always do advanced prepping is portobello mushroom. I use them in many different type of dishes. The portobello mushroom has a much longer shelf life when you cut them up, as shown in this plastic container. Next, I found some color prepper that I already prepped in the refrigerator and ready to be used. Last but not the least is some thinly sliced carrot, which I always have on hand. For this dish, I'm going to use some cranberry raisin, or simply known as craisins. And then I also find some walnut pieces in my pantry as well. I'm going to make a very light sauce for this dish. I'm going to start out with 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And then I'm going to add approximately about 1/3 tablespoon of sesame oil. This is then followed by 1 tablespoon of white distilled vinegar. The vinegar always adds a special flavor to the dish I really enjoy. And this is followed by 1 tablespoon of rice cooking wine. After mixing up the contents, I did a quick taste test and decided what kind of further adjustment that I like to make. This is indeed part of my flavor chasing approach. I then decided that I would like to add a little bit sweetness to the sauce, so I add 1 tablespoon of sugar. To thicken the sauce, I'm going to add about ½ tablespoon of cornstarch. I want to make sure that everything in the sauce is well mixed, particularly the cornstarch. I did a quick taste test. I decided I'm going to add a little bit more seasoning using my basic seasoning mix. This is my interpretation of what the dish should taste like, and you can make modifications as you see fit. Next, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of dried cranberry, or sometimes you call it craisins. You can add as much or as little that you prefer. Since I like cranberry, I add quite a bit to that. After adding the cranberry, the sauce looked a bit dry to me, so I add additional 2 tablespoons of water. I mixed everything up and did a quick taste test, and it sounds pretty good to me, so I'm now ready to cook. I'm going to cook this dish in my Cuisine 14-inch stainless steel wok. I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of canola oil. I'm going to heat up the oil to its near its smoking point. I know it is hot when it just barely starts to smoke. I start out by adding approximately 1 cup of thinly sliced carrot. Carrot is great to start cooking the dish because the carrot will provide wonderful flavor and texture. The key to generate as much flavor from the carrot as possible is that to fry it to the point that you will notice that the surface of the carrot will be slightly changed and take on this slight burn appearance. Because the carrot is rich in sugar, this indicates that they have been caramelized. Since in this dish the green bean is the primary ingredients, I add about 3 cups of green bean to the wok. These green beans are cut into size about half of its original size when it come in the bag. At this point, you should notice that the green beans should pick up the oil from the wok. You want to make sure that the green beans are thoroughly coated with oil. If they are not, you can always add a touch more oil. In this case, the amount of oil is just right because you can tell there are no oil or very little left on the surface of the wok. This is really important to create the best flavor of the green beans. When there are not too much oil at the bottom of the wok, the green bean will come into the direct heat contact with the bottom of the wok, and you can tell that the green beans are slightly charred on the surface. And when that occurs, you know the green bean will possess the best flavor. The charring is important in create what is known as wok chi in the food ingredients. By this time, the green bean is about 50% cooked. I add the portobello mushroom. I add the mushroom at a later time because I do not want to overcook them. A mushroom absorbs oil readily, so I add some additional oil to make sure there's enough oil to coat the surface of the mushroom. In stir fry, it is the oil temperature that is critical for generate flavor. Due to a chemical reaction known as the Maillard reaction, which occurs at a temperature between 300 to 400 degrees, it will generate flavor molecule on the surface of the food, and that's why frying tastes so good. Another really important consideration during stir fry is create what is known as wok chi. The wok chi has 3 components. One is the flavor molecule generated during the Maillard reaction, as I mentioned earlier, and the second is a caramelization of the food ingredients, which occur at a higher temperature, and then lastly is the charring to give that special burn flavor to the food ingredients. And by now the dish is done. Next is I'm going to add the cranberry sauce to the dish. I shut off the heat before I add the sauce. As you can tell that as soon as I add the sauce, it thickens almost immediately. I then add water to dilute the sauce to the consistency that I want. I then add a little bit more water to thin out the sauce to the consistency that I want. And finally, I add the color pepper before I start to transfer the contents to a serving plate. The total cook time of this dish is very fast. It is about a little bit over 4 minutes. Since I have most ingredients prepped in advance, cooking this dish is simple and straightforward. Finally, I garnish the dish with some walnut. You can add actually any nut you like. Sometimes I will use almond or even pecan. Other than the green bean, which is the main ingredient, you can replace or substitute any other ingredients in this dish. This dish demonstrates the possibility of template-based cooking. By following a simple template with minor modifications, you can create many different versions. So as you can see with my fast cooking system. The word fast is the acronym for flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. You can create many different versions of a same dish. And when I combine advanced prepping, I will always have the ingredients ready to me right at my fingertip when I'm ready to cook. And when using flavor chasing, I can constantly make improvement to the flavor and to find the best flavor that I prefer. And in future videos, I will continue to give you demonstration, provide you examples of how to apply my fast cooking system. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.